Hello and welcome. So glad that you decided to be with me today on my first Health and Wealth broadcast. I welcome you, and we like to share some night tonight with you some great information. So before we get started, I would ask that you would share with your family and your friends, and please let me know that you're here watching by typing in the chat box life class, okay? And we just want to take the time to thank you for sharing with us in this
Hello
evening.
and welcome. So glad that you decided.
Yes. And so we ask that you please hit the share button with your families and your friends so that we all can be blessed together. I would like to thank God for this great opportunity to enlighten, inspire, and empower all the listeners this evening. And hi, I'm Dr. Veronica B. Yes, I am the First Lady of the Winning Church. And tonight, we're going to be blessed tonight with some great information. But I want to give you a little information about myself. I thank God that I'm married to the one and only Bishop Harvey B., the pastor of the Winning Church. Shout out to the Winning Church. Thank God for our Winning Church family. We've been covenant for over 37 years. We've been pastoring together for over 27 years. Yes, we have been in ministry for a while. Also, I'm the author of Why Women Act Foolish and an entrepreneur of the BBJ Punch, which you have been seeing strolling all over Facebook. And it has been a hot sale, hot commodity. And I thank God that it's taken off. And for those of you who are purchasing BBJ, thank you in advance because you're helping us supply and support the Winning Academy, which I'm the principal of. So thank you so much for your support in advance for that. And of course, tonight we're going to be talking about press through the stress. Press through the stress. Yes. But before we get started, I want to thank God for this day, this National Day of Prayer. I want to thank God for our church family that we all came out together from 12 to 1 and we went before the Lord and on the behalf of this great nation. And we know that our nation, our world is in a crisis, but thank God that we have some praying people and we are praying to God for results. And we just continue to ask that you, as the audience, will continue to pray as well. And with that being said, we have a lot to cover in such a short period of time. I have wonderful women with me tonight, three wonderful women with me tonight who are making a big difference in our society with their expertise. And they have a wealth of information to give to the public. They are going to share with us just a few nuggets on some things that will help us all gain control over our well being. And one good thing about this, they are all members of the Winning Church. And we're so glad to be in fellowship and in covenant with these wonderful women of God. And we are excited about what God is doing in our lives through these great women. So, my special guests, I want to take the time to introduce them. And of course, give you time to get settled. You're going to hear some great information that I feel that need to be addressed. A lot of times we things are held back from us that we don't know, and you don't know, you don't do. So when you know better, then you do better. So we are excited about the information that we're going to receive on tonight. Let me bring in my first special guest who um, will just give you a wealth of information for where she is. I want to welcome my first guest is Michelle Decker, and she is married. She has three daughters. She's a health promotion coordinator of Robins Air Force Base and a certified public personal trainer. And she's the founder of New Fit Life Wellness and the owner of Namori's Locket. And so we are thankful and grateful to welcome Michelle Decker. Michelle, can you say hi to everyone? Thank
Hello.
you. Yes, we thank God for her on tonight. My second wonderful guest would be Yosetta Eatman. Yosetta Eatman is a registered nurse who is married with two beautiful children. She currently have three businesses going on, which is CPR Training 101, Supplements Full Strip, and Security Alert System Star Alert Medical. Let's welcome Yosetta to the set. Hi, Yosetta. How are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing well, Dr. B.
Great, wonderful. And then my third person is Rachel Jenkins. Rachel Jenkins is the founder of Purple Pots, a holistic health and nutritional company that educates, empowers, and provides holistic goods and remedies that complement a natural, nature-based lifestyle. Her products includes holistic health and nutritional curriculum for grades 4 through the 12th grade. She makes homemade elderberry boost syrup, which is so good. Wildcraft Jamaica sea moss in a dry gel in a capsule form, and custom make herbal teas. Yes, that is so awesome. And she also has holistic and nutritional educational seminars for those of you who will be interested. And you will find out a little bit more about that. So let's welcome Rachel as she comes to the set with us. Hello,
Hello,
Rachel.
everyone. Hi.
Hello. All right. I have them with me, and I tell you they are locked and loaded with so much information that we're gonna try our very best to get through some questions here on tonight. And again, if you're here, please type in life class. Please type in life class. Let me know that you're here watching because this is some great information. And tell your family and friends what's going on right here on Facebook Live. Okay. All right. My first question will be addressed to Yosetta. Yosetta, um, tell me some changes that you have made or seen since we have been in quarantine from the beginning up until now.
So, particularly starting off with our family, the changes that we have made is incorporating more family meals, making meals every day instead of going out to the fast food restaurants. We had more time to get things organized in the house, which is a great thing because,
Mm-hmm.
we had a lot of things that needed to be adjusted. So it gave us an opportunity to get things organized. And, starting off first and foremost, getting into the presence of God more, hearing from Him, getting
Mm-hmm.
into scriptures, memorizing scriptures, and just having more discernment and presence, getting into His Spirit. So, the things on the outside that we've seen more masks, people
Mm-hmm.
wearing masks, more hand washing, getting people prepared to how our new normal is going to be in life as we get adjusted. So these are some things that we have started incorporating as a family and as our new world is emerging.
Yes, I guess we can call that the new norm right now. That's the new norm
Yes,
for
ma'am.
us to, making sure that we have masks and washing our hands and being, being in a place where some things that are just new for us, we trying to adjust and adapt to those new lifestyles. And so I'm gonna ask Rachel, tell me something that you have changed or something that you've seen being changed in your household.
So for me, I've been able to actually, just like Miss Josetta said, cook more often because I'm allotted time to be home with my kids now. And so I have these wonderful alkaline cookbooks that I've been able to now use some of the recipes out of. And so what I do is allow the kids to pick a recipe maybe once or twice out of the week, and then they can get hands on and help me in preparing meals. So it's brought us together. It's allowed us to have family time. It's allowed my children to see the benefits of family time, and it's allowed
Mm-hmm.
them to be a little bit more interactive and hands-on with their meal selections, so that they don't feel as if I'm forcing a healthy lifestyle on them, because they're excited about it because they can take part in it.
Great, great. And that is one thing that we are doing. We're going back to old school. We're actually cooking more and we are
Hmm.
actually having more family time and family dinner. So that's awesome. What about
Yes.
you, Michelle?
Kind of all of the above that they've already shared, plus meal planning and meal prepping. So,
Mm-hmm.
even though
Mm-hmm.
we can cook more, and we are cooking more. Being able to plan those meals and having the kids included, even exercising more, doing physical activities together as a family has increased our family time as well. So just overall, just having time to really focus on the home life and all those things that, put home together.
Yes, that's awesome. To Rachel, how have this time helped you with your focus on good health?
So a lot of the information that I know or am now actively executing in my lifestyle, I've always known, but I've never practiced the self discipline to apply it to my life. And so this time has allowed me to focus more on discipline in myself so that I can now activate the information that I've already been entrusted with. And so
Mhm,
I've been able to deal with some of a lot of our eating habits are associated with our emotional state of being. And so
mhm,
I've been able to address some of the emotional traumas that I may have experienced in childhood or in my adulthood and kind of get those things, I've been able to search myself, clean myself and replenish. And so it's allowed me to reset. It's allowed me to implement self-discipline. And that's led to me now actually activating and using the information that I have to maintain and be more consistent in my walk in a holistic lifestyle.
that's good. That's good. And with that, I'm going to ask Yosetta as well. Um, has this time helped you to focus more on your discipline with your health? And what way have this time helped you?
So, getting stress management under control, making
Hmm.
sure that you're honing into, what stressors that are being triggered and why, and eliminating those stressors. Also, increasing sleep production,
Hmm.
making sure that you're getting that, 6 to 8 hours of sleep per night, because we don't get enough sleep, and that compromises your immune system. And physical activity. I have shared with Michelle, I'm trying to get better with the physical activity. I fall off the rocker every now and then and go and have a piece of chocolate cake from Decadent, but I'll
Hmm.
get back up on the horse and ride it again. So
Yes,
those are some things that have been implemented in our daily routine.
that's good. And Michelle, how about you and your household, your family?
Well, I would say that she said something very key. It's the sleep factor. A lot of times we are so used to being so busy and on the go and taking care of so many things that we neglect our sleep and not realizing how sleep really affects us overall, how it affects us physically, how it affects us mentally, even spiritually, because we can't focus on the things that we need to focus on because we're suffering and sleep is becoming a deficient area in our life. So this time has definitely allowed us to be able to set time to make sure that we're getting enough rest as a whole so that we have the energy to do all the things that we're choosing to do right now in this present day.
Well, very good. I had someone in our Facebook audience to ask, how do we manage stress? And we're going to address that as we keep moving forward. But as for the bee household, of course, we're busy bees all the time.
Mhm.
And we're still busy, even though we are quote unquote quarantine. But we have time, found time to cook more. We have found time to exercise more. And that really helps with the stress levels of what's going on in our society. And of course, we're going to address that later on in our show. Let's go to Michelle. What would you say one thing that is very much needed in this crisis? What's one thing that's very much needed?
For us to find a balance in our lives, excuse me, whether it is personal, whether it's us as a family, find that balance in our ministries, in our marriages, in our family as a whole, in
Mhm.
our marketplace. So some of us are working from home, but there are some of us that are still going to work on a day-to-day basis while we do have kids that we're trying to homeschool, and even time to manage your money. So this time has allowed us to look at, a budget. And so for someone who does not have a budget, this could be a time to establish a budget, or a time to reevaluate a budget that we already have. So just finding that balance. For us here, the Decker household, we've been doing a lot of home projects, I would say. And, again, I said planning our meals have been good and working out together. But also, one thing we also neglect is, when do we find time for ourselves?
Right.
So as much as exercise and nutrition and sleep, stress management is very, very crucial to that. And I know we're going to get into that later, but taking time to have self-care, taking care of ourselves overall will help us with that balance that we're trying to establish in our homes.
Very good. And of course, one needed thing I know for myself is to get out and get fresh air, to get out and walk and enjoy life, looking at nature and enjoy the sunshine. And thank God, even though we are quarantined, so to speak, and of course, Governor Kemp has lifted that, but still we're taking cautions with that. But we still need to learn how to enjoy life. If we can just go to the scripture that Jesus said he came that we may have life and life more abundantly. And of course, in crisis times like this, we have to find ways to enjoy life to the fullest, and you can do that. So that's very exciting to know that, different things that we can do, and get a handle on life, as you said, our health, our wealth, our how we plan our meals, the different things that's going on. I know millions are out of a job. This is now time for you to be creative. Find something that God has gifted you with, and start doing it. Since you have time to do it, you never know, it may turn into $1 million business. You never know. But the thing is that you just have to get started, and we can't faint in the day of adversity. We got to continue to move forward and continue to do what God called us to do. Just because we are sort of like on lockdown, quarantine, God still has an assignment on our lives. And so we have to find out what God wants us to do. So Rachel, can you tell me one thing that is needed very much in this time?
I was actually going to piggyback off of what you were saying. We have to maintain some sense of normalcy. And so although we're willing to accept a new normal, we have to maintain some of what we know to be normal. And so that's going out to get sun. You have to go out and get sun and activate that vitamin D, activate that melanin. We are sun beings, and a lot of our healing is stimulated by the sun. And so my children and I, we go out. We just came back from the playground about an hour ago. And so we go out every day. Every day we make it our business to go somewhere. Even just this past week, we went on vacation to my mom's house, to Miami. And again, that's just to so that we don't get stuck in a cycle of just a repetitive being locked down. Although we're on an official quarantine per government, it's still our job to be the gatekeepers and maintainers of our own lives. And so for me, I don't want my kids to be emotionally affected or physically affected by the pandemic that we're currently experiencing. So I try and make an effort to go somewhere. The weekend before we went to Miami, we went to visit a friend in Alabama. And so just to, if you can, still practice precautions, still, sanitize, still use your mask, still do what you have to do. But again, maintain some sense of normalcy. So, and that also ties into the stress and depression that you will begin to experience if you don't maintain some sense of normalcy, if you don't go out and get sun, if you don't socialize. We are social beings. We like to herd, and so we need to be around other people, even if it is 6 feet away.
Right.
So still practice your social distancing. But again, you can't isolate yourself, even if it's, that's what's being mandated. So do it, but within still maintaining the rules, still obeying the laws.
That's
So again,
right.
what I feel is needed is that we maintain some sense of normalcy, still go out and get sun, and still socialize.
Exactly. Because, some people think because of this pandemic, so to speak, that they don't need to get up, they don't need to get dressed, they don't need to
Right.
go outside,
Hmm.
they need to stay inside, they keep their children inside.
Hmm.
And that's what brings upon stress, that brings
That's right.
upon depression as well. So I know for me, I still go to work every day. We
Hmm.
get out, we get sunshine, we mingle, even though you have to maintain your social distancing and everything. But even though you're home, you need to get up and get out of those pajamas.
Right. And
Get out of that bed and get up
mhm,
and do something and do, hey, 10-minute exercise regimen or something. And
right.
instead of just staying home and not going anywhere. I mean, some
Hmm.
people say that they don't go nowhere, and that is not good. That's not healthy for
It's
you.
not healthy. And Yosetta can probably speak to this,
Yeah.
but it'll suppress your immune system as well.
Right.
So it's just like,
Right.
if you had a baby and you put the baby in a bubble, and then after a year you let them outside and expose them to everything, and their system is just going to go into a shock. And so it's called herd immunity. So
Mm-hmm.
we need to have socialization. We need to be out and amongst others. It will weaken your immune system if you are just kind of shut in. And maybe again, Yosetta can speak to that
Yes.
from the medical standpoint.
Yes. Go ahead, Yosetta.
Well, just like everyone was saying, that we do definitely need the socialization, and thank God that we have the technology now that we can do Google Duos or FaceTimes. But I wanted to really say, check on our older people, our seniors.
Mm-hmm.
They get lost in the shuffle,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever you can do to check on them is the greatest thing that you can do. Giving them a call, or getting on Google Duo or FaceTime and going out walking with them. I do that with my grandmother every now and again. I'm like, Grandma, let's go outside. We're going to walk together on Google
Mm-hmm.
Duo. And
Mm-hmm.
we have a fun, fantastic time. And also we have, getting out with your family, doing things. My husband, uh, him and I, we have our times together, and then my children, we have bike times together, and then having your friends.
Mm-hmm.
I have girlfriends, girl groups that we go out and we do meet in the parking lot, and we have lunch, and we social distance, we laugh, and that gets that immunity up, because you're not depressed, you're not isolated, you're not by yourself. So
Exactly.
all of those, incorporating all of those things.
Great. Which takes me right to the next question for Michelle. What would you say to someone who's bored and depressed?
I think we already covered it, but the main,
Yes.
you just got to get up and you got to get moving. That sunlight and that being exposed to outside and getting some fresh air is very key to that. And Yosetta touched on it, connect with others. So it could be family, it could be friends. I can attest to being, reconnected with a lot of people during this
Right.
I haven't talked to in years.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just checking on one another, and just seeing how everyone is doing. If you have an outlet, if you have someone that you feel comfortable being honest with, even share how you're feeling, because you don't have to go through whatever you're going through, whatever feelings you're experiencing. You don't have to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, someone that you're sharing that with, it could be someone who has already experienced it, maybe someone who's dealing with it now. The main thing is we can help each other out. So even Yosetta mentioned her giving me a call, about exercise. Same thing. I may call her about some, mental health stuff. So just to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that we're checking up on each other is very important. And now because of the day and time that we're in, where we're not, we're social distancing. Social media is key. So now there's every type of flat platform that we can communicate on. So it's not just picking up a phone and sending a text. Pick up the
Mm-hmm.
phone,
Mm-hmm.
call, FaceTime, Facebook. You can see them and talk to them. Cook with each other, like she said, walk with each other. Like Rachel mentioned, go out. and experience things together with your family. It doesn't mean you have to be around everyone else. Just get out of the house, so you're just not so become claustrophobic and isolate yourself
Right.
everything and everyone.
Exactly. And Rachel, while we're there, tell us some ways that we can build up our immune system.
So one thing Yosetta did say was rest. So
Mm-hmm.
we do need to rest. We also need to make sure that we're drinking a lot of water
Mm-hmm.
to build up your immune system and make sure that you're replenishing what you're losing. So we are made up of about 70% water. And a lot of people don't know that we lose water when we breathe. You lose water when you perspire. You lose water when you go to the restroom. And so we're constantly losing water. And so we have to replenish water and kind of keep things moving along the way. So if you think of water as a transporter, it kind of helps push things out. And so we don't want things sitting in. So that's another thing we need to do is detox. So now is a good time to detox and kind of maybe if you would refer to it as fasting, we fast in a spiritual sense, but it has so many health benefits to fast because then your body can now stop intaking food and then start breaking down what it has already stored up.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing to do is to implement herbal regimens. And so there are a lot of herbs that we have in our pantry, like garlic or ginger or cinnamon. Cinnamon keeps down inflammation. You
Mm-hmm.
can use cloves. Ginger is anti-parasitic. It soothes your stomach as well. So in addition to getting rest, we need to make sure that we're getting sun. We also need to make sure that we're drinking plenty of water and then making sure that we have a nice colorful diet. We need to make sure that our food is combined of reds and yellows and greens. We need to make sure that we're staying away. And I believe that moderation is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's you kind of got to know yourself. And so if
Mm-hmm.
you know that if you do just a little bit and you're probably going to stay there, then you shouldn't do a little bit. But if
Mm-hmm.
you know that you can maintain some sense of balance, and then it's okay to have to treat yourself sometimes so you don't feel completely, without. But for the most part, about 80% of your diet should be made up of fresh fruit and vegetables, whole food, natural, plant-based, organic things, natural resources that God gave us from the earth. And so again, we need to make sure that we're getting rest, getting sun, getting water, make sure that we're fasting, and also eating a nice, healthy, balanced meal.
Mm-hmm. And someone did mention, say, eating right and eating healthy is very expensive. But what was your answer to them?
So, if you would think about it, eating right and eating healthy is expensive. However, it costs you more to be sick. And
Mm-hmm.
so prescriptions cost more, doctor's visit costs more, eyeglasses cost more, hearing
Mm-hmm.
aids cost more. And so even just in not that you would be a burden, but to your family, but what happens if you became bedridden and you couldn't care for yourself any longer? And then your family members have to take time and care for you. And so that's cost, it's going to cost you. And so
Mhm.
you may as well put the effort and the finances into having a nice, healthy, long life, opposed to taking the easy way out and going through Wendy's and getting a 4 for $4. Just go ahead and
Uh-huh.
pay the $3 or $4 or $5 for a mango.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to feed you on a cellular level. And so again, it's expensive to eat healthy. It seems as if it's expensive, but again, that's just the way that we've been trained. And so we
Mm-hmm.
have to redefine what expensive is. But see, the one thing we compromise on our health, but we don't compromise on the cars that we drive. We don't
Okay.
compromise on the house
Okay.
that we live in, the
Mm-hmm.
clothes, the shoes. We don't compromise on those
Right.
things. But we
Right.
only get one body. And so
Mm-hmm.
I can buy another house, I can buy another car, but once that body goes out, then that's it. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
one thing that we should not compromise on. So if you do have to spend a little extra, trust me, you're worth it. You are worth it.
Right, right. In our race of people, African American, our diets are very, very poor. Which we're going to go right into I think this is a broad subject, but we're going to all hit it. Why do we think that the COVID virus is more prevalent in the Black community? I'm going to start with Yosetta.
So, African Americans are 40% more likely to have high blood pressure than white Americans. They're 1.3 times more likely to be obese. About 4
Mm,
out of 5 Black women are obese. 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes, and at 1.3 times more likely to die from asthma-related causes. Nearly
wow.
half of all African American men and women have some sort of heart disease, according to the American Heart Association. So
Mm,
this virus, it affects people who have significant comorbid conditions more than those who do not. It
mhm,
affects people who are obese the most. Long-term exposure to air pollution that leads to higher rates of death. African Americans are exposed to 56% more air pollution, and white Americans are 17% less.
wow.
So the key object is prevention. Prevention is the
Mhm,
key.
mhm,
So we want to start employing things to in our lifestyle before we get to these issues, like the exercise, like the
mhm,
holistic, eating, like Rachel was stating, like the stress management and the sleep, getting more sleep. But one thing a lot of people leave out is, let's go back to old school. We used to take laxatives. Grandma would give us a laxative right before school,
mhm,
and she would give us at the New Year's. That's eliminating all of those toxins out of our system where we're not holding on to those toxins. So,
mhm,
and also what do we like to put in our water?
mm,
Lots and lots of ice.
mhm.
So, and that's getting trapped into our midsections, and we're unable to eliminate, so we want to decrease ice intake.
But
Drink lots, let's go.
let me go
Yes, ma'am.
back to that water. Okay, we said we like to put lots of ice. So
Mhm.
what is your recommendation for that? Since we like to drink
Um,
lots of ice water, tell me what's your recommendation for that?
so we have to get down to the reason why we're drinking the ice. Some are iron deficient.
Mhm,
So checking your iron levels and finding out, why are you drinking so much? Why are you putting so much ice into your beverages? My
mhm,
recommendation is lukewarm. Let's
mhm,
do lukewarm, or just drink it in moderation. Have a little bit of ice if you have to have it, but we want to drink more warm teas,
mhm,
employing the Japanese culture and the way that they do things, and drinking teas and more warm contents so we can flush it all out of our systems, especially if you don't like to take a laxative, or have flax seeds that go on top of your oatmeal or anything like that to help you know bring all of those toxins out of your system.
okay.
And if I can piggyback off what Yosetta was saying, our bodies are internally a 98.6. That's the temperature. And so if we're drinking cold water, your body has to first bring that water down to temperature before it can even distribute it and use it. So
Mhm,
not only are you not being able to use the water immediately, you're causing added stress on the body. And if you can think of trying to dissolve sugar or salt in cold water opposed to warm water, you see how fast sugar or salt dissolves in room temperature or warm water. And so your
mhm,
food is the same way. It kind of just turns into sludge. And oftentimes we like to have a cold drink when we're eating food, and we're eating protein, so some type of meat, and we're eating some type of carbohydrate, a bread. So we're probably eating a Popeye's chicken sandwich, or, something that's not even supposed to be combined together anyway. So that's something that we can talk about at a later date, the proper food combination, how to combine our foods properly.
mhm,
But if the water will then go in and it turns your food into sludge. It solidifies it. And so it makes it hard, like just like you said, for things to kind of move along and get out of the way. And so if things are not moving, they start to sit and ferment. And when they ferment, they're rotting, and that starts to then be absorbed into the bloodstream. And so that's how we end up with even something as simple as acne. That's a direct result to what's going on in the bowels. And so again, if you do consume a lot of ice, you probably are iron deficient. And a herb that you can take for that is a herb called sarsaparilla. It's Sarpilla, sarsaparilla. It's a natural herb. Another herb is called yellow dock. These are all herbs that God gave us right here on the earth. He said that the herbs will be for the healing of the nation. So we like to go and get stuff that's over the counter, but the phosphorus or iron that's over the counter, your body can't properly absorb it. So you need a plant-based herb. And so again, those are two herbs that you can use to help boost up your iron level. And iron is responsible for the oxygen uptake in your blood. And so again, nutrition is so important. It's directly related to our overall well-being. That's why holistic healing, mind, body, and soul.
I want to say this. I think it's very important as parents that we start our children out eating healthy, because so many parents now are, McDonald's, the Happy Meals, the Burger King, these meals, and all these types of things, instead of giving them their proper fruit, veggie, and protein. And so if we don't start our children out eating healthy, then we're going to raise them to be just like we are,
Exactly.
food junkies. And I know we go for convenience here in America, but that's why we have a lot of childhood obesity that's going on right now, which we have never in all my days have heard about children that have high blood sugar levels, high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart problems, and all kinds of things, because our children just do not have a proper meal. So these are the type of things that our African American race, that if we don't deal with it and get a cap on it, we're going to continue to produce children that will grow up and have the sugar diabetes, the high blood pressure, the obesity, the things like that, that we will be more susceptible to these viruses that are going around, COVID-19 or whatever. And then we don't practice teaching them the importance of exercise, which I'm going to go to Michelle. What you think, why you think that the COVID virus is so prevalent in the African American race?
Well, one thing to add to exercise is the lack of education on how to take care of ourselves, as well as the lack of health care. In our communities, you would notice that a lot of African Americans don't have the proper health care, or you may have someone that as I was growing up, they would say just set in their ways. They don't want to go to the doctor.
Right.
What is going on. But even going back to the educational piece, a lot of the herbs that Rachel mentioned and the herbs that she actually makes, we don't know about those things. We don't know the benefits of them. So what do? We look to the doctors for medications, not realizing that there are things, healthy approaches for us that we can take to aid in those areas that we're struggling with. So regardless of, whether it's COVID-19, whether it's heart disease, cardiovascular disease, there are ways, and as she says, things that are right here given to us right on this earth that we're not familiar with how to use them and what they can be used for. So I would just say the lack of education on what is right at our disposal right here in our communities.
And I would also add that we have to get away from things that's harmful and toxic to our bodies. I read a report the other day that a lot of these things, I say viruses and diseases come upon us because our race of people smoke, they drink, they're dependent upon drugs, and these are the type of things that we have to eliminate from our our diet. I know some people may frown upon that, but we need to promote, hey, stop smoking, stop drinking, and stop being dependent upon these drugs that we feel that make us, quote unquote, feel good or feel better. So we need to make sure that we're teaching and training our children, because I deal with children every day. Y'all know that's my baby. I love children. I think it starts at a young age, because we train them in the way that they should go, and when they're old, they will not depart. So as they grow older, what you have placed inside of them, or what you have allowed them to do, that's what they become. And so if we don't give them direction as to what is good for their bodies, what's not good for their bodies, then therefore it will become, this will be the lifestyle that they will have by just eating whatever. And then again, as Michelle said, that we are not educated enough. Sometimes we don't take times. And I know the Bible says my people are destroyed because of the lack of knowledge, because they reject knowledge. So a lot of times when we're trying to tell people about different things that's good for us and what we should do and what we should not do, we reject that. And we need to right now embrace it, because now it's live or die situation, and we need to get ourselves together. And the Bible also said that God promised us with long life, but he also charged us to be the temple of the Holy Spirit, that we must take charge of our health. We must take charge and know, as Rachel has said, we buy the $100 tennis shoes, we buy the cars, we buy the house, we buy what we want to buy. But then when it comes to our health, we dismiss it and think that we okay. And then when we get sick, we call on the name of the Lord, and God is saying, hey, you got to change your diet.
That's right.
You just got to change your diet if you want to live right. And he has given us so much on the earth that we can pour from. And of course, I'm just coming into the knowledge of different things the last 5 years of my life. I never heard of elderberry. I never heard of sea moss. I never heard of echinacea. All these different things that will help you be built up and build your immune system so that you can become healthy. Because one of my things, Bishop and I, we always say, Lord, keep us healthy, keep us on our feet, because I don't want to be on my children when I get older. Because that means that because I made a bad choice or bad choices, then they have to alter their life to take care of me. Which is, I know we take care of our elderly, of course, but I don't want it to be to a point where they're missing their life because I did not do the best to take care of my life. And so we just need to educate our African American race, and there's so many different dynamics that we can cover tonight. But I know we can't cover everything in this 1 hour. So we're here to empower and to inspire you as a person to take charge of your health. And when you go to the doctor, just don't take their word for it. Do your own research. How you're feeling, what you are going through, and if they give you a medicine, go look it up. Go see what the side effects are. Some of the stuff that they're giving us is actually killing us. And we need to go and do our own research, and instead of just saying, okay, he said this, he said that, and I'm just going to do it. No, you go and you look it up yourself, and then there is a herb out there somewhere.
That's right.
That will help you. There is a herb somewhere.
You're absolutely right, Dr. B. And in my research and studying herbs and just coming across different herbalists and studying their work, a lot of, I would say about 80% of the prescription drugs are just simply a synthetic version of an herb. And so a lot of the cancer treatments, most of the chemo drugs, about 90% of those are a synthetic version of a natural herb. Wow. And all it does, they just take it and they alter it in a lab, and then they add synthetic chemicals to it so that it works faster. But our bodies we're natural beings. We come from nature. And so our
Mhm.
cures are found in nature. And so our bodies can't identify those synthetic things. Our bodies can't identify synthetic artificial processed foods. And so again, when your body sees this, it looks at it as, okay, what do I do with it? And then it goes and
Mhm.
store it up into a cell. And now we are plagued with high blood pressure and diabetes, and we're plagued with high cholesterol and congestive heart failure. And that's because we've put into our bodies things that are not supposed to be there.
Right.
And
Right.
to touch on that, Rachel, I want to say even some of our supplements, they are synthetic. You can go to
Mhm.
Walgreens, you can go to CVS. They're coated with synthetic substances, and that's why when you're ingesting them, they're making you feel sick. That's
That's right.
why I did the research with the company that I'm with FullScript, and to offer people better supplements that are um, more natural,
Natural.
and they're
Mhm.
key, and even with Rachel and her supplements to help people more and to offer them a 20% discount on top of that, so that our we can get the better supplements in our systems instead of taking the ones from CVS and Walgreens and Walmart that are synthetic, and that's going to make us sick.
That's right.
Yes. And Michelle,
Well,
you had.
was, and even with us taking the herbal supplements and the natural herbs, one thing we do have to remember is the herbs are not magical pills. So you can take
Mhm.
Yes.
a pill and
Yes.
Right,
still go eat Popeyes
right,
That's right.
right.
and not exercise and get 2 hours of sleep and think you're healed. So
Right.
to understand, yes, you must educate to understand what the herbs are for, but you
Mhm.
also have to do your part to make sure you're doing everything else. And
Mhm.
also understanding that one herb that has benefits, it may work for me, but it may not work for the other person. So
Right.
Right, right.
education and understanding how your body absorbs the minerals and the herbs and the foods, and how your body responds to everything that you're absorbing, excuse me, is very, very crucial and
Mhm.
important.
Mhm.
Amen. And it's also very important to know your family history.
Mhm.
Know your family history. If everybody's dying from cancer, let's find out why. If
Yeah.
everybody have high blood pressure, let's find out why.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Bible calls those generational curses, and we need to find out what those curses are and turn those curses into blessings so that we can bless the next generation after us.
Right.
Instead of just saying, "Oh well, grandma died with this, mama died with this, so I'm gonna die with it, and my children." No, we rebuke that in the name of
Mhm.
Jesus.
That's
Amen.
right.
God has given us power to overcome these things, and what we have to come into the knowledge of the truth. And
Mm-hmm.
the Bible said the truth will set us free. And so a lot of times the truth hurts, but it will
Yeah.
set us free, and we have to get on the right track, the right path. And we're trying to keep our people in a place that they want to learn.
Mhm.
We got to be in a place that we are open to teaching. We are open to things that are coming to us. When someone want to do a financial seminar with us and show us how to make our money work for us, we don't have a big crowd for that. When someone come to us and want to tell us how good we can make our health and do better with our health, we don't want to hear that. But we want to hear things of, how can I get rich quick? How can I eat what I want to eat, and then I still feel great and gonna live to be 100? It's not so.
That's
It's
right.
not so. So we have to be able to listen to good godly teaching, or good things that people are trying to get to us, and be open to that, and try your very best to make steps towards change, because we are changing as we get older. That's for certain. So we have to be open to change and ask God to help us, which take us into the next question. Michelle, why is it so important to exercise at this time?
Well, with exercising, of course, first, before anyone exercises, I want everyone to make sure that you are properly warming up and stretching. And even after you're exercising, regardless of what you're doing, stretch again. Okay, but as we're talking about the health, the main thing I saw a lot of posts, people mention about walking. Walking, there's a lot of people getting in steps right now. The great thing about walking is free. You can walk around your house, you can walk in your house, you can go outside in your neighborhood, you can find a track. If you're going to work, you can walk up and down the hallways. You can walk somewhere unless you're physically incapable of walking. But it has so many benefits if you're just talking about walking. I know a lot of the gyms are still closed, but you don't need a gym to exercise. You can, if you're a brand new mother, you can use your infant child, your toddlers as your weights. You're already carrying them around anyway. Use it. But of course, it has a lot of benefits. It helps us manage and treat and even reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases. It does help boost our immune system. It does help us reduce stress. Of course, it helps us balance and strengthen our bones, our mood, our mental health functions. It does help us sleep better, and of course, the flexibility when we're exercising and we're moving, regardless of our age, and especially as we get older, that helps us to be able to do those things that we enjoy doing every day by staying moving, staying mobile. And even studies show, it's recommended 130 to 150 minutes a week. So that's really not a lot. 130 to 150 minutes for the entire week. And then research even shows 1 hour of walking equals 2 hours of extra life.
Wow.
So you would not want 2 hours of extra life added. And guess what? Walking helps with weight management. So all you shoppers out there, hey, start trimming down. That's another excuse to go buy some more clothes. So the list goes on and on and on.
And the flexibility and the mobility of a person, God didn't make us just to sit around.
That's right.
He made us to be mobilized and go out and do different things. I read an article. I think about, this week I read an article where a lady just walked around in her apartment and she lost over 100 pounds. And she just changed her diet and she lost over 100 pounds just walking around her apartment. So it's really no excuse other than we make excuses, for what we do and why we are the way that we are. But now, don't get me wrong, you got to start. The hardest part is just getting started. And when you get started, then you got to stay consistent in what you're doing, because we get bored so quick, and we like, man, I'm not going to do this because we don't see quick results. See, we live in this microwave society, and if we don't see quick results, then hey, forget it. I don't want to do it. But we have to keep on doing what we need to do. So when we go to the doctor, we see those numbers being lowered, and we see, hey, things are getting better. You're feeling better. You're feeling like brand new money, as my mom used to say, that you will be able to do the things that you need to do. And so, and that's what's so important about staying on track and being accountable. We have to be accountable to our friends, our family. And a lot of people don't like to be accountable to different ones. And then different ones say, hey, did you eat right today? Or did you exercise today? Or did you walk today? And we get mad for whatever reason, instead of just saying, thank you for checking on me, and I'm going to get back on it. I'm going to do what I need to do. And Rachel, what type of exercise or something that you are doing to stay mobile?
So the kids and I go walking almost every day. If we don't go walking every day, we're out either in the store walking. And so again, something as simple as shopping that you don't attribute to exercise. You don't think of it as exercise. We have to remember to simplify our life. So it doesn't have to be anything strenuous. Just like Ms. Decker said, you can just simply go walking inside of your favorite retail department store. And so we go walking every day. I take the kids to the park. And then we make sure that we're just always mobile, always doing something. And it, just like you said, Dr. B, we are here to work. We are here. We're just
Mm-hmm.
working remotely from heaven. Like God
Mm-hmm.
sent us here and say, go do work. And so that's what we're supposed to be doing. And so we need to be mobile in order to be mobile and to do the assignments that God have placed, entrusted us with, and, you know, to activate and use our gifts. We have to make sure that our bodies are operating at optimal health. And so again, you got to stay mobile, drink water, rest, and just make sure that you're eating a good, healthy, balanced diet.
And so you said, you bringing up the rear for us. How do we maintain and be consistent in becoming more healthier? Since all of this we've been talking about, and the hour is almost up. My God, it's going by so fast.
Yes.
But go ahead on and give us your input on that.
So our key concepts, we want to make sure that we focus on is stress management,
Mm-hmm.
physical activity, sleep. We want our dietary supplements that we incorporate into our diet, such as multivitamins and minerals, botanical herbs. There are colostrum,
Mm-hmm.
we'll get into that more later on, and probiotics. And then like I said before, incorporating that laxative. Oh my gosh, I can't say that enough. Laxative, laxative, laxative.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to do flax seeds or something to eliminate those things out of your system. If we maintain that and make sure that we are doing it on a daily basis, anything that we do, what is the time frame? 21 days. We do it for 21 days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We'll get into a regimen of doing it.
Right.
So incorporate it daily, 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 and we will have a high immune system.
Amen. And that is so true. And I just thank God so much for you wonderful ladies that bring us great information every time I call you. And I do want to say these three ladies keep me on track, my accountability partners. When I need a question answered, I can call them any time of the day, and they give me information, which I'm so thankful to the Lord. And because I want to live my best life and my blessed life. And but in order to do that, I can't be down. I can't be sick. I have too much to do, and God has entrusted so much to us that you can't do what God called you to do if you're sickly and if you're are not mobile. And so these are the things that God is calling us to do. And of course, I can take each one of you and do a segment with you per hour, and we could talk about it for per hour, whatever. But we're here because we want to make sure that we get this information out to our Facebook family, our church family, our friends, all of those who are here to listen, and whoever will listen to us as we talk. We want to make sure that we're doing our best to be a blessing to this society and not a burden to this society. So we thank you so much for being with us. And of course, we have to come back and share some more information. We all have our own businesses. We're all entrepreneurs too. That is awesome. And God is truly blessing. Miss Rachel inspired me with my elderberry BBJ. I can't keep it. I have to keep making it because people are buying it, and that's for my older generation, so to speak, that love the BBJ elderberry edition, which it is 50% less sugar, and it has real elderberry in it. And so for those of you who can't stomach it, like I could just drink it down now because I'm used to it. But you can buy the BBJ elderberry, which is really good. And then I have some other flavors, the original and the strawberry. And then for those that need a personal trainer, you can call Michelle. She'll be right there. She'll get you on track. She'll set something up for you, and so call her. She sells jewelry, a wealth of everything that she's doing. And Yosetta, she's CPR training. She come to you and train you and help you on that area, and all with the different things that she's doing in our society. And Rachel is a wealth of information with all of the holistic diets and everything like that, and trying to teach us how to eat and eat less meat. She does the elderberry, she does the sea moss, And if anything is ailing you, she has a herb for you. Whatever it may be, she has a herb that you could call her and say, hey, I'm having headaches. Hey, I'm having stomach aches, or whatever. It's a herb out there for us, and we want to get that out to our community. We want to get that out to those of you who are suffering with any type of ailment to help us get back on the right track. And we don't want you to be home and be depressed. We don't want you to be home and don't know who to call or who to talk to. And then if you don't have a church home, then you can come to the Winning Church, where winners are. We produce winners at the Winning Church. And so
That's right.
we would be more than happy to have you to come and visit with us. And I know things are opening up slowly, but surely. But you can call our church, and if you need someone to help to pray for you, we are there to do you as pray for you as well. But I like to thank you, and we appreciate you so very much. And I also like to give a shout out to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. Sunday would be Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to you, wonderful, beautiful women here, and to all of the mothers that are out there as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. We thank God for allowing us to come into your home, and we say be blessed and be safe. Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye. Okay.